behind the scenes of recording videos. No, that's not accurate. Behind the scenes of watching videos I was I'm keeping it. It's a behind the scenes of something, but clearly I don't know what the heck it is. Watching videos I was mentioned in is what it is. It is what it is, but it's not what it should have been. So, I wasn't going to record this today. I was going to record something else today, but it looks beautiful out. I went outside. I wanted to do something outside today. I lasted about 4 minutes, and I come back in because it was too cold. But at least if I do something in here, I can kind of enjoy the sun coming in a little bit. So I'm going to record this today, this afternoon, and then I'll do the other things I was going to do today later. So let me turn the ceiling fan down so we don't get a wind noise in the video. And I'm going to turn this humidifier down a couple notches. The stove is already as low as it can go. So, unfortunately, this is not simple to record. It should be simple, but what happens is there's a lot of people that mention me and just crap. And it's like spam and scams and whatever. I don't want to give those people the satisfaction of that showing up on this video. So what I have to do is I have to get a second computer, not the one that's already at the TV. I have to get a second computer. I get a laptop. And I put the laptop here, and I have to get a long VGA cable. Today we're going to use the Lenvino T450S. I usually use the T430 a lot, but the sound on the T430 is complete garbage. Even when you have an output, like, it's still not very good. So we're going to use the 450 instead. I'm trying to find the power cord for it now because it's probably not charged up. Here's the power cord. And actually, I'll just take this whole box over here. This is the charge that we need, and this is the audio cable that we need. And then hello?
This is Rex with Med Alert. How are you?
It's what? Who?
My name is Max with Med Alert Senior. How are you?
Who is it? Who! Good, that takes care of that problem. So we need this cable. This is the VGA cable. And this does have sound in it, but it's not the right kind. I need a male to female, and this is female to female, so that doesn't work for my setup. So that's why we have this. Okay. And I guess I don't need a mouse because this one is touchscreen. I can't handle those stupid mouse tracks. I hate those things, but I think the touchscreen will be fine for this video. Not doing anything precise. So now I have to gotta lubricate the tripod here. So now we have to put, I gotta get all these fans out of the way. It is warm enough in here that we could use a fan during the video. Maybe we'll use this Honeywell fan. Put it to slow. Stop pushing me over, I'm gonna fall. Okay, so here, this is why the audio is a problem, because this is the female cord that goes in the computer, and I just want to extend this. So that's why we use this cable instead. It's time to cancel out this Christmas tree. It's losing all the needles. There's needles all over the floor in here. It's really quite an unpleasant surprise at times. It's kind of noisy. So it looks like it's put it on duplication. I don't like that configuration. It's not helpful. Oh, it already has this on here. Okay, so we got to change it to extension. And so then what I end up doing is when I find a video that is reasonable, it's not even signed in. Now it's got to do this stupid sending of the codes thing. I hate this. I know it's necessary, but I hate it. Actually, this doesn't do a code. This does stupid Google's prompt on the tablet computer. I hate Google's prompt. I wish it would just call me to my telephone like the scammer did and just tell me the codes. It looks like it didn't even, it says set a home address. Why the heck does this thing need to know where I am? Where are you, stupid? You know what I might actually do before oh, look, what's the first thing that's on here? Some stupid, dumb garbage. I'm going to pick out the videos before we get started because it'll save some time and maybe spare me from some rude comments. No rude comments. So I'm just going to go through here now and pick out some of the videos that are reasonable. And then what I do is I just drag them over to the other screen here, which is not set up properly. It doesn't matter. It's unintuitive that it's like that, but I'll just leave it alone. It's not worth the trouble. Okay, this one, this should be reasonable. So put that. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay. What the heck? What is up with this thing?
Like that on ceiling.
Okay. Why won't it switch to this other tab? There's a crap post. I don't understand, like, what's the point? Obviously, I'm not going to show it. All right, we can do this one. Here's another garbage post. We're just going to skip that one, obviously.
This is like.
Oh, Wexford. I'll take a look at the Wexford. Well, there's a lot of garbage posts in here this time. We'll look at this one. this one. And we'll look at that one. Look at, whoops. We'll look at this one. Garbage, garbage. That's almost 45 minutes. That would take up the entire episode. This one, why? This one is a re-upload of one of my videos. So you steal the video, re-upload it as your own, and then show me. That's unique. Put a copyright claim on that yesterday. I mean, tomorrow. Not yesterday. I can't go back and do it yesterday. Stupid. I don't like to put out copyright strikes, but it should be common sense that you can't do that. Oh, this is broken again. It's only showing some of them. This is so stupid. Well, I guess I've picked as many as I'm going to because it won't show me any more. Oh no, wait, here it goes. All right, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, 19 videos here. That's probably more than I'm actually going to get through. Although some of these are fairly short. So let me go through and make sure these are all not doing anything stupid. that one has a dumb intro. That's a stupid short. I hate shorts.
Alright.
Yeah, a lot of these are not very long. Maybe I'll be able to get through this. If not, I'll just save some for the next time. Okay, so this is all set up now. So now as I go along here, I just take one of these videos and I move it over here. But I really would prefer this to be arranged differently. I'm gonna fix it. Should be like this. So now I can push this over here like this, and then I can just move this to be large. But now I also have to write down, I have to write down all these people that are in here, but I guess I can do that afterwards. I can do that afterwards. Okay, so now I gotta get the cameras. I'm going to use both GoPro cameras in hopes that it stays synchronized. So in the past, I've recorded it with the Sony camera and the GoPro camera, and there becomes a point in the video where I don't know how long this takes, but at some point the synchronization of the two cameras becomes out of line, and I have to then like cut it and move the section back like a half a minute, or not half a minute, half a second to fix the audio linkage, and it's just not great. So I want to see if I use the two GoPros cameras, does it line up better? I think it should, but who the heck knows? Ideally, I'd like to plug in these cameras so you don't have to play battery games while this is going on. Let's see. I think that this power supply might be powerful enough. This power supply is... Oh yeah, this has got plenty of power. This is a 27 watts power supply. Although, I think... No, I can do that. I'm doing it. Where's the stinking memory card? Here's the stinking memory card. Just going to take the battery out for now. I'll put this in. And I'm pretty sure that this will work. I think that this will allow me to film and have this. Oh, this is a problem though. Solved. I'm running out of daylight by the time I get this set up. Now let's just see if this will do what I want it to do here. I think it will. You need a certain level of power supply to record, and it looks like this is working fine. It's providing enough power. Alright, good. Hopefully this does not overheat. What I can do maybe to help this not overheat, I'll put the image stabilizer off because I don't need it because it's not going to be moving. And maybe that will reduce the processing power that this is using to record. Okay, so this, I'm going to set the frame up here. Usually I put the, how did I do this last one? I think I had myself in the bottom left corner underneath the fan. Probably do that again. So I'll put this over here like that. And then I need the other GoPro camera. And this becomes a semi-editing nightmare because we have to get the audio lined up in the picture-in-picture thing. So I have to do it twice. I have to save the video on this GoPro. I have to do it twice because the GoPro, this older one here, it breaks up the video into 11.7 minute sections, and trying to align 11.7 minute sections to the other video is horrible. So I usually take the video from this other GoPro camera, I will import all the videos, and then I will have to do a second editing section where I have that long clip that I made from this video, and then I combine it then. So I think, yeah, I've got everything I needed off this memory card. I'm going to cancel the contents of this memory card here. Is there any pictures on here? No, I've edited all those videos. Okay, so do this. I'm going to need another one of those power supplies. Oh no, this camera doesn't have the tripod mount. Okay, we'll have to swap the... I was going to use this one here just because I can see the frame on the front, which is useful. You know, I can probably just literally sit this on top of the tripod without securing it, and that won't matter. No, you move so slow. Yeah, tell me about it. I'm the one that's stuck living like this. Everything I do just takes forever. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just do that. Okay, I think I have another one of those power supplies over here in that box. Yep, I do. And the older camera has a lower power requirement, so this will definitely work. If it works fine for the other one, it'll work no problem with this one. Just got to get it set up before it gets dark out, that's all. this always lose the time. If I don't set the time correctly, then trying to get the files in line is difficult because they don't line up in the editor properly. Set manually. 2, 4, 26. Nope, that's wrong. Three. 16. Okay, and then we're going to put reset, format SD card. It's formatting the SD card now. Hurry up! Gosh, I could have formatted this faster. Bah! Okay, that's working. You know, I do need to keep this camera here so I can see the levels and make sure that the video volume is adequate. Okay, so now I gotta get this set up here. I'm gonna put this to linear, not wide. Yeah, this is not working quite as well as I'd hoped it would. But I do think that we'll be able to we might be able to get through the video if I don't wreck the place here in the process. Oh, gosh. This might just have to be good enough, like GE. Okay, that's good. This one is not as important because this is just a small frame in the bottom of the video, but that should be fine like that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Okay, we're almost ready to start. I'm gonna go get some water so I don't choke during the video. Maybe I should clear out my nose before we start as well. Okay, I can breathe better now. All right, how are we gonna set this up here? I want to be able to see everything in the frame. Yeah, I'll put this over here. Yeah, it should be pretty good like that. Okay, let's do this video. Ah! Oh yeah, this is off to a great start. Alright, this should be fine, I think. It's gonna have to be. And I'll turn this one on. And then we have to make an alignment noise, which of course we will select a sheep for. Bah! So I'll use that noise in the editor to set up the alignment of the two clips. This, I can't really tell if this one is in a good frame or not. It's on wide, so I'm sure I'll be in the frame regardless. Okay, I'm going to begin the video now. Oh, I have to look up to find out what number of watching videos this is. It's number 13. Watching videos, I was mentioned in number 13. We're going to begin with a video entitled 2025 Boston Harbor Ceiling Fan 42-inch Traditional Spinner. And this video is from Fans and Vintage 2008, the channel. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Hello guys, here is a 2025 Boston Harbor traditional style spinner ceiling fan. I got this fan from Amazon for, I believe, about $89 including the tax, which it's kind of a crazy purchase to me because I usually don't spend money like that on ceiling fans. It's very rare that I ever spend more than $20 on a ceiling fan at all. However, this fan was very intriguing to me because the fact that this is a spinner style ceiling fan and you can still buy it today as of 2026, it's absolutely phenomenal to me. I really like that concept.
Me
I
too.
mean, sadly, you really can't go to the physical store, but you would have to go on the computer and buy it. So,
What is worth noting that if you're in the Canada, you probably can go to the physical store and buy it. It's really only in the US here where the selection of ceiling fans is just complete garbage in physical stores.
this thing, I believe, uh, the cheapest you can buy is like $68. However, on those other websites, you have to pay for shipping. But the good thing with Amazon is you don't have to pay for shipping. So, for those who are going to say, oh, you brought it from the wrong website, you spent like 10 or 15 more dollars on this thing. Well, I mean, that is a factor to consider. However, on the other websites where the fan was sold for $68, they do charge a shipping fee, which is about $20, I think. So you would have to add that to 68, which would be about $88. So you are like, and that doesn't even include tax. Like the entire bill is probably going to be about 96 or something like that. I don't know how all that taxing and stuff works, but that's just my estimate here. So buying it from Amazon is overall my cheapest option because I would have to pay the lowest shipping fee, which if you buy it on Amazon, you don't have to do it. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this thing. Oops, that's the fan. I want the light. So I'm using a 100 watt incandescent light bulb. This thing included a DEL bulb, but I put it in that ceiling fan and it was absolutely horrible. Like, it was like dim from the start and it was...
It wasn't bright from the start. That's interesting because the DEL bulb that came with mine, obviously it was a cheap piece of junk bulb, but surprisingly enough, I found it fairly satisfactory aside from not liking the cool white or bright white or the heck kind of stupid white it was. It wasn't soft white or warm white or whatever the 2700K is.
It was horrible. So, but I got enough good old incandescent bulbs I can use here. And I have the testing rig. I have this on a dimmer so I can dim it down to whatever I want. Even kind of at a ridiculous setting like that. So now I'm going to show you guys the fan itself.
Well, hold on. That kind of requires an explanation because my unit came with a 72 watts, I think, wattage limiter, which would not allow a 100 watts incandescent bulb to be used. So either this version is slightly different or it was modified in some way.
If I remember correctly, the motor on this pulls 55 watts.
55 amps, holy
And
cow.
like 45 amps.
That's a lot of current. Good grief.
Here's low speed on the pull chain. I am going to test this both with the pull chain and the wall control because I do think that is important factors to consider here. So high on the pull chain, or low on the pull chain, high on the control. It's using 13 watts and 0.21 amps, which is like nothing. And the low on this I do think is kind of fast, but
I agree.
yet again, this is a 42-inch fan, and those are expected to go a little bit faster because you don't have much of a load on the motor. And for low speed, I can feel a gentle draft from this thing. Like, that is incredible. I don't know how this compares to a Lady Delta, but I think I don't think the performance is that much less. I really don't think it is. And I mean, with this thing, this would be a lot cheaper than buying a Casablanca Lady Delta.
And the flywheel won't break, and the electronic controls won't break, and it won't fall.
Casablanca Lady Delta, you have flywheels breaking in.
There
and
you
have
go.
the stupid hang falls fall through canopy. But you don't have either of these things
The
with this
hang
fan.
fall through canopy. That's a good one.
Now, I don't think this is a Beacon Hill or a Bayport. I don't think it's
Oh.
in that territory.
Not even close.
But those fans are like top of the line quality and performance.
Yeah, the Bayport and the Beacon Hill, those are so far off the charts for the 42-inch category. I don't know of any other 42-inch fans that are even in the ballpark of the Bayport and the Beacon Hill. Those are really off the charts.
So, yeah. But this fan, I don't think is all that far from it. Here's medium speed. This is doing 0.29 amps and 24 watts, which is almost no power at all. For the little power that it's doing, it's pushing a lot of air.
It is quite efficient.
Like, this thing really impresses me. Yeah, I think this is a perfectly acceptable fan. I have this piece from the Broken Anemometer.
What?
It's not moving, but this thing is broken. So, fan. I have this piece from the Broken Anemometer.
The broken
It's not
anemometer.
moving, but this thing is broken. So,
That makes two of us with busted anemometers.
yeah, I'm gonna get a new one of these things because this thing here is just broken. But when I do get a new one, I will test the accurate airflow for this thing. And now high. It really picks up on high speed. For a cheap fan, I would say this is above average for a 42-inch fan. I'd say this performance definitely is about that one Alaska in the background. So this is drawing 45 watts and 0.37 amps. So the power rating is honestly higher than the actual performance is. And not to mention, this thing is whipping out the air. It's blowing everything around in the shop. The shop is a mess right now. And now off. Now I'll show you guys the 3 speeds on the wall control. Here's low speed. On low speed, this thing is going a tad bit slower. This thing is doing 0.17 amps and only drawing 9 watts, so slightly slower than before, or before the pull chain one. And despite it being low on the control and it being a little bit slower than on the pull chain, this thing is still whipping out some pretty good air. It's not gale, but that's not what a low is supposed to be. This thing, it just impresses me. This is incredible. I would honestly say this is the best modern ceiling fan you can buy today. And back in the 2000s, this was considered a pretty cheap one. Which says a lot because this thing was supposed to be a cheap fan and it wasn't supposed to be anything to write home about. But in today's age of garbage products, I just put the fan on medium, okay, on the control. But in today's day and age of garbage products, I think this is a perfectly good fan.
I agree. I think it's a great fan.
So this is medium on the wall control. It's drawing 0.28 amps and 22 watts. So not that much different than what on the pull chain is, but it is a tad bit slower than on the pull chain. Now high speed. And same power as high on the pull chain, high on the control, 45 watts and 0.37 amps. So yeah, this thing is a phenomenal fan. I think it's absolutely safe to say this is the best modern ceiling fan you can buy.
I think so too.
I really think this is the absolute best one you could buy. And I'm not really exaggerating. I have tested other 42-inch fans before. Even some of my vintage ones don't get as good performance as this. This thing here is incredible. And I mean, this is has some evidence that this is built down to a price, but it does so very reasonably. It's not ugly. It looks like it's straight out of the 90s or the very early.
It's sad that it not being ugly is the bar that we have to judge modern products by.
2000s, and it performs absolutely fantastic. It's not in the stinking silver color.
Good.
Like, this thing is phenomenal.
I hate the stinking silver
I will
color.
absolutely be buying more Boston Harbor fans soon. I think the next one I'm going to try is that antique brass hugger that looks kind of like an Encon Casanova from the 90s. Now I'll turn it off, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thank you guys for watching. Bye.
There was recently a UI change on this now where the button to make it smaller is no longer just at the bottom right corner. It's actually like a button now. Years ago, you used to be able to just slam the mouse on the bottom right and click it, and you would get it to go out of full screen. But not anymore. Was there silica gel in the box? The box? Are you kidding? I had that for dinner time. Oh man, you can't make this stuff up. Cannot make this stuff up. All right, that was a pretty good one. So I'm going to bring that back. I don't want to lose track of which ones I have here because I got to write these down. This one is from Steve the Fan Man. Oh, hold on. We got to read the description. I forgot. I goofed. I forgot to read description on this one. The description says, let's make it a little bigger so we could actually see it. The description says, oh, there isn't one. No description has been added to this video. Okay, so I should have just left it alone. This one, the description says, what is all this? It's not describing anything. It's important to write descriptions, people.
We've all heard horror stories about predators caught doing the unthinkable. In Ohio, a local mechanic...
I hate this autoplay thing. I can't stand when it does that. It just puts whatever it feels like on the screen instead of what I'm trying to watch. What a pain in the neck. Anyways, I was never much into hand dryers. I guess they have a following like everything else does, but I do remember years ago seeing these. I used to think they were porcelain, but I guess they're probably just metal. These white metal dryers, some of them would have like that big silver button in the front. I do remember those quite a bit. I don't see them anymore. They're all these weird, stupid modern ones nowadays. But it's nice to see old ones still out in the wild. Alright, this one is called... Where is the description? Alright, this is a little aggravating here.
Take 5 of filming this.
This is like just totally bricked. What is going on with this trash? Here's the description. It says, this is the Hunter 25410 ceiling fan from 1994. There's a problem I need to access on here. The medium speed doesn't work on it and just does the low speed. If you know anything about it, that would be much appreciated. Alright, let's take a look.
Alright, this is like take 5 of filming this. Here we have a Hunter model 25410 type B from 1994. Takes 0.85 the amps, 60 hertz, 120 volts.
I always find it so funny how these things, like different things that we say in the videos catch on, like the amps. Who the heck says the amps? But I say it a couple of times and then everybody starts to say it.
This fan is an antique brass finish with dark oak blades. So we can see, I do see a little bit of pitch on the blades. Nothing crazy, but respectable. very beautiful fan.
That is a nice fan.
But there is one problem that I'm looking to fix, as the medium speed's been broken and it just goes on to low. So I don't know what's up with that. It's probably gonna be something to do with the capacitor, but if anyone knows anything about that, please let me know. But anyway, the light is controlled by this switch, but not the fan. So let's just turn it on low first. We got a medium, low, not too fast, not too slow. So you can see there's a Hunter logo right there. Can definitely feel air coming down off of this thing. This fan is reversible by a switch here. There's 3 lights with the classic bloomed flower fixture. Now let me show you what the medium speed does. The medium speed makes it maybe a little bit faster, but that's about it. So if anyone knows what that problem is, let me know. But anyway,
That is very likely just a spoiled or drifted capacitor.
let's test some.
But come on. See, the mouse track on
I can
this
definitely
really
feel more
stinks.
air coming down there now. Very quiet. It's in a nice setting. You can see it's blowing that around. Pushing a good amount of air, actually. There's that. Very, very, very quiet fan. And not even a noticeable wobble. Barely at all. Which is very nice. Let's bring it back down to low. And yeah. And let's get a little bit of angles from these views. I can feel the air down here on low, all around the floor.
That low speed is slower than it should be too. That's definitely a drifting capacitor.
You get up to the motor, you can't hear any sound. No bearing noise, no nothing. From the living room, this is what it looks like from the living room. And then in the kitchen, in the living room,
You can get some cool shots of it with the mirror there for sure.
and then in the kitchen, we have this SMC that I already took a video of, but yeah, that is the Hunter ceiling fan. I will see you guys in the next one. Let's watch the spin down. Beautiful, beautiful fan. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video.
It did it again. Oh shoot, this is music. This is gonna be copyrighted. Really wish you would stop doing that. Oh, and now it just disappeared off the computer entirely. I hope that was captured on the behind the scene
This
shot.
is like take 5 of filming.
Okay, I'm gonna move this tab onto this other window here. And now we have a Wexford. I cannot take this brand seriously. The Wexford. Fresh from the store. And it doesn't have any sound.
Here is my 14-inch Rexford high velocity fan, basically their version of the Lakewood HV14, which I do have over here, and I'll show you in a little bit in the video. This is a video request by Jordan Yu. He wanted to see my Rexford high velocity fan. So let's go ahead and run it on all 3 speeds. As you can see, it has the badge, just like the Lakewood right here.
It does look very, very much like the Lakewood. The blades have that indentation in the middle like I believe the Lakewood does. The badge looks very much like the Lakewood. It is definitely a descendant of the Lakewood HV14. I don't know what happened exactly with the patents from Lakewood when it went out of business, but I have a suspicion that there's a lot of these patents floating around still, and they're still being used to manufacture different descendants of these fans. What is it, the home? I think it's the Holmes box fan, which is probably the worst box fan made today. I think that's a descendant of the very late Lakewood brace blade units.
It's like the Lakewood, except for it don't say Lakewood, it says Rexford. It has the exact same blade design, just like the Lakewood. If you look at the back of it, and there's your freak show.
A freak show, always
Of course,
in the
bro, it wouldn't be a
video.
video without the freak show, so there it is.
Yeah.
There's your freak show for the video.
Yeah, even that's very similar. I mean, the motor is different, but the switch and everything is very, very similar.
Look at the back of it. The motor is different. Definitely don't look like no Lakewood motor. But the knob is also different, because they had the other kind of knob. Now, I do have the 14.
Well, I do think that is a Lakewood knob. The very late versions, like I have a HV21, and I think it has that knob. So I that might be the same knob. I don't know.
And I'll show you the 14. The 14 is Lakewood. I acquired it off of E-Ripoff, I believe in 2023.
Must have cost
Like
a fortune.
23, when I first started collecting all of these vintage fans.
Because one of the things that Miss Parks was attracted to about you, Mr. Carter, was the way you focused on your children. So what happened?
Now, off to your right is the original Lakewood 14, HV14. You can see that the knob right here, the little switch right there is different. Now that's their original design, whereas on the other one, you see that it's round. The motor,
I've never seen this switch on an HV14, but I'm almost completely certain that these did come on the larger model, the HV21. And maybe the very late, no, because those didn't have, no, scratch that. Just, the only one I've seen that's kind of switch on is the HV21.
is different. However, the motor on the Lakewood has an open bearing in the back, so it's a little bit different. They look very similar. Now I'm gonna turn the Lakewood around, hold on, so y'all can see the front.
No, ma'am. She was currently at work.
So you had to be the parent there. Or
Now, And I'll turn the other way around so y'all can see both badges.
Okay, so Ms. Parks, that's a balance of getting with a man who has children already. That one of the parents has to be with the child is going to the doctor's appointment. If the mother couldn't be with the child,
Now, as you can see, the badges are very similar. Very similar.
That's incredible. Those units are nearly identical from the front.
This one right here on the Rexford is slightly different. This one right here is the original on the Lakewood. But it looks exactly the same. The blades look exactly the same almost, although Lakewood is their own design, and they did a good job trying to mimic Lakewood. So there you go. So let's get back to the Rexford.
your perspective is not the wrong perspective, but I'm looking at the face of my drawers. This is your life. You pick the life. When you get with a man or a partner with
Okay, we're getting ready to run this machine.
children are always going to be a consideration. But it doesn't mean my child should be. Absolutely not.
And we're going to go ahead and start it off. Here we go. Starts off at high speed, or as I like to refer to it as full power. For those that don't like the wind stream, my apologies to you, but people on my channel that like to hear the wind stream. Unfortunately, I didn't put the noise reduction on, so I do apologize for that. I didn't put the wind stream noise reduction feature on. My apologies to you, bro. If you gotta turn the TV down, my bad.
Yeah,
I do apologize.
this is pretty loud.
I know you don't like a lot of wind stream. So you might have to turn it down. I do apologize. I hope you're still enjoying the video. Medium and then low power. Now this is a 2008 model, so it was probably produced in 2007.
Wow,
and it was released for
that's-
sale.
I was not expecting it to be that old. That's very interesting then, because I don't know if Lakewood ran the HV14 series right up to the end, but that very well could have been sold side by side, which would make this not a descendant but a knockoff of. And there certainly were plenty of knockoffs at the time, but this is remarkably similar.
Probably in the summer of 2008. I got this a while back. I believe it was in late 2023 or early 24 when I got this. But that Lakewood one I showed you, the guy before I got that back in 23. Okay, low power. It's very quiet on low speed. All right, spin it back up to high speed, or as I like to call it, full power, and then we'll do a spin down. Spin down.
Spin up.
Spin down time is decent. Keep in mind, I have not oiled this. This is how it was when I received it. It's got a really good spin down time. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, Jordan. Rate, comment, and subscribe. More videos to come soon. Lamont the Fan Man and out. God bless you and gone.
Gone. No comment. The description says, bro, enjoy this 2008 Wexford high velocity fan and compare it to the 1999-2000 Lakewood HV14 high velocity fan. That was very interesting. That is remarkably similar. I thought that that Wexford unit was something that was of more recent make. I didn't realize it dated back that far. You know what, since I've approved all these videos, I guess it would be easier just to put this whole thing here, and then I can just move over to the tabs. Okay, this one says, stupid. This one is from DB Vintage, B as in Bah, and the description says, a set of vintage styled LED Christmas lights that I got at Home Depot. These go back a few years. My sister and her husband had these on their home maybe 10 years ago. Jordan mentioned his similar C6 set possibly dating back to 2007, and that could be right, but I don't remember. The footage that I got of mine in the darkened garage shows the color far better than seeing them on the house through the camera. I remember getting a comment of him telling me about these lights, so let's take a look.
Hey everyone, Merry Christmas Eve. I figured this would be an appropriate time to show my C9 LED Christmas light set that I bought at Home Depot a few years back. Since Jordan Yu, fellow YouTuber who does videos about pretty much similar subject matter to what I do here, vintage fans and other vintage things, I figured I'd do this video as kind of a response and show these lights here. Anyway, this set only kind of halfway works. We'll plug it in here and I'll show that to you. Shut the garage light off so you can see. Anyway, I know kind of what is wrong with these, and it's a short circuit somewhere in these lights. We found an empty socket, and when we replaced the bulb in that, it immediately shorted out and pretty much made the whole set go out again. Anyway, yeah, that's this little Home Depot set of lights that I've got here. Anyway, I figure what we'll do here in a little bit is take you outside and show you the light set that I've got out there. Now these are the lights as they are installed on the house here. I'll give you a little look around at them here. Get up a little closer here. I didn't quite have enough to cover this side of the house because of that other string that had failed on me. And here I'll give you a little close-up of the lights on the house. It seems like the camera lens kind of washes these out as they show out here.
It is very
Not
difficult
quite sure
to get a
why.
good picture of Christmas
I think it's
lights.
that flickering effect that Jordan had mentioned, but they just seem a little bit washed out here versus the footage from the garage that I showed you earlier. So anyway, figure this is sort of the external Christmas display I've got. I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and wish you the best in 2026.
So to me, I would say those were probably 2010, 2012, somewhere in that range. I have strings that are very similar to that, which were also purchased at the other Home Depot, and I believe we got them in 2011. I don't know how much earlier than that the design goes, but those look like very early 2010s era to me. I don't think that they were quite as old as that C6 set that I showed, which dated back to the late 2000s. Let's see what this says here. Yeah, recording Christmas lights, particularly DEL ones, because the colors are kind of funky, is extremely difficult, and most of the time, it's very hard to get a good picture. All right, this one is from Walter Knox, and it says, "I don't get how people can use this. LEDs being LEDs. I just don't get how people find these satisfactory." Let's take a look. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how people find that satisfactory. A number of years ago, I did a video on the lights in the downstairs of the old location, and the lights did the same thing. They would just like flicker like that for no reason all the time. And I just don't understand how that's acceptable. And I see these do that all the time in other places, other people's houses, whatever. And people just sit there and ignore it like it's normal. And it's not normal. Lights have never done that in the past. They shouldn't do it now. To me, that's totally unacceptable. But I don't know. Somehow people consider that acceptable. I sure don't. I couldn't live with that. I'd rather sit in the dark.
This video is for Jordan Yu or even Eric Fries. When this fan oscillates back and forth, it likes to make this clicking noise. I don't know why it's doing it. I don't know what's causing it. I don't know if it just needs grease in the oscillator, oil in the oscillator, but like, why is it doing that?
Well, it could be a couple of things. It could be, most likely, it's something with the cable moving around. Or it could be, if the linkage is really tight, there could be a gear strip, or not a gear slip. It could be a gear slipping. So I would say you got to check the lubrication points of the oscillation linkage. Make sure it oscillates freely. And if it does, then it might be an issue with the way the cable's routed. Sometimes the cable will creak up against the side of the neck there when it moves and make that kind of plasticky, creaky sound. That kind of sounded more like a gear slip to me. What was the description? None. Come on, people, add descriptions. It's important. Okay, this one is from the user Captain Chris, and the description says, "This is the Christmas 2025 selection at the Home Depot as of 12/7/2025. Jordan said that the Home Depot has a great Christmas light selection. I wasn't disappointed by it. The DELs definitely flicker less than the Target ones. There's also a ton of C9s. I went to Target this year after Christmas looking at the sales, and the DEL lights at Target flickered something horrible. They were among the worst I've ever seen."
We are at the Home Depot. All these reindeer are flickering like crazy up here.
That's pretty bad.
That's flickering like crazy. Here's some trees. I think these are DEL. Yeah, that's probably DEL. Those look fine though.
I think all the pre-lit trees are DEL at this point. This is very similar to the one that I have in the kitchen, and I do have to agree, it's pretty acceptable, but it's largely because the DELs are running off of a DC power supply. They're not running off of AC and flickering.
Yeah, that's probably DEL. Those look fine though.
So here is all of the Christmas lights according to Jordan. Home Depot has a really good selection of incandescents. And actually, so we got some DLs up here, and then we got actually a whole bunch of incandescent lights. A bunch of streets of 300, 150. There's the stupid multicolored DLs. Much more of different variants. Those ones are flickering. There's all the display Christmas lights. So, of course, on the displays, they're gonna have mostly the DLs. I don't think
Mostly flickering.
anyone really displays incandescents anymore.
You don't have to because they just look
You
good
can
by
see
default.
they're not flickering as bad as those Target ones. They're still definitely noticeable flicker. Definitely still oversaturated.
You know what's disappointing about some of these is that, at least this year, I noticed a lot of them are starting to have pretty good coloring, like these ones here on the right. These have pretty good color, but on the contrary, the ones that had the best color, to me, seemed to flicker the worst. Some of the ones that said steady lit and flicker free, those look like they were flickering to me in the video, but the ones that say steady lit and flicker free to me weren't that bad, but those are not the ones that had the best coloring. So it's like you got to take your pick. Do you prefer better coloring or less flickering?
Well, those ones are okay, I guess. Actually,
Yeah, they're not too bad. So these are those vintage ones that came out this year. I never ended up getting a set because they were just too expensive, but I felt like these flickered pretty bad, and I'm wondering if it's because the filament and being in a clear thing like this, I think that makes it appear more harsh, whereas when it's inside the faceted thing, it's kind of diffused and not as harsh. I can tolerate these faceted ones more than I can tolerate these, but I will say these very much look like incandescent if it wasn't for the flickering.
those could be incandescents. Doubt those ones.
They're close. They
So
are
the ones
very
on the
close,
left
but
look DL.
not quite good enough.
Those ones kind of look incandescent. So those are probably incandescent. I don't see any visible flicker. I think all these. I believe Home Accent Holidays is the Home Depot brand.
Correct.
Here's a whole bunch of C9 lights over here. Didn't see that until just now. So you got Target didn't have any C9s. These DL ones over here are not flickering as bad. I have it in 24 FPS recording so you can see the flickering more visibly. Yeah, these are definitely better than the Target ones that were flickering like all hell.
Those Target ones were pretty bad. I saw that display in person.
But
it was a flickering
yeah,
mess.
I'd say this is a pretty decent little selection here. Because I mean, it's all the Home Depot brand, but
That's
you got
fine.
C9 lights.
At the end of the day, the brand names, they hardly matter anymore. You know, people pay twice as much for the box with the GE logo on it, but it's not made by GE. It probably comes out of the same factory as these anyways.
Ton of incandescents. And then you got the reindeer over there. As for the decorations, we already looked at the reindeer over here. And
All that stuff's flickering something awful.
See, these are flickering. They're still not satisfactory for me.
That's terrible.
Yeah, these are definitely not satisfactory.
Now, interestingly enough, I have this nativity scene. I used it this year, and I didn't feel like it flickered that bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad.
Here are some of the Christmas decorations. They got a whole section of here that's missing. Mickey Mouse. Frosty over here. Ton of trees. I think these DLs might be kind of okay.
The white ones I think are fine, but those colors, they don't look right to me at all.
That's a bunch of plants. Bunch of ornaments. There's more ornaments over here. But yeah, so we got
Clocks.
bunch of
I was gonna get some of these bows, but they sold out.
Weakling DLs and Candy King DLs. Yeah, so I bet those are incandescent.
No,
Actually,
those are not incandescent, but they're very close.
Those two. Actually, looking closer, those are probably LED. Because I definitely looks too thick to be an incandescent filament. So yeah, I was right the first time. There's really going to be no incandescent displays, but at least, yeah, I'd say they got a decently fair selection. Ton of incandescents.
That doesn't have anything to do with the video. Alright, this is from Pad 2, and it says, well, it's a stupid short, so where the heck is the description? Isn't it? I think it's in here. Description. Calling the ambient temperature line with the phone.
Hello? You have reached my ambient temperature line. This particular ambient temperature line is associated with my channel, which you can look at on the computer by navigating to www or the World Wide Web or youtube.com/JordanU. I've wanted to set up something like that.
It's very rare to see somebody call out on a landline telephone. The next one is from Teso V, and it says, this netbook branded in PC model 1000 HD with an 80 gigabytes hard drive, not 60 as I said in the video. It was a gift from my dad for Christmas 2008. It runs Windows XP Home Edition, and recently I got the urge to power it up. Up until this point, it hadn't been powered up since before Microsoft ended support for XP in April 2014. I used this computer a lot back when I was in my last year of middle school and continuing into high school. My very first PC was also, here we go again, PC branded. It was a desktop and had Windows Vista Home Premium install. Sadly, I don't have that one anymore. I wish I still did. Anyways, I'll be making more videos of me browsing the internet with this netbook. A huge shout out to Jordan, whom I really enjoy watching and relate to a lot. Windows XP truly was way ahead of his time, as Jordan has said many times. Also, I believe that this Dell Opticam mouse is one that Jordan really likes, and it really feels nice when using. Thank you for watching. You're so very welcome every time. Just have a lot of comments. Okay, here we go.
So I have powered up this EPC laptop from 2008, and I have not connected it to the network, but upon shutting it down, it is installing some updates. I don't know what that's all about. Oh no, I'm gonna get a virus! Ah!
Typical.
Well, I plan on connecting it to the network. I plan on installing a browser. I doubt it might not work, just for experimental purposes. I plan on installing Supermium browser on this old laptop with Windows XP Home Edition. So stick around, this will be a new series to see how it'll work. I will not be able to connect it through Wi-Fi, as it's not finding any wireless networks, not even my own here, so I'll just hook it up via Ethernet.
That's the best way anyways.
So see you soon. And the fan is ramping up.
Speaking of ramping up, I just had to turn up the stove. It's getting cold in here.
There's Windows XP. Intel Inside. I believe it's a 60 gig hard drive. Very, very tiny. Could use a little cleaning. Hasn't been powered up in well over a decade. And apparently there are updates. And of course we'll go through the entire setup. But I am using a special mouse here that I think is Jordan's favorite. Jordan U, that is. It is a Dell mouse. I really love this mouse. It's really comfy. Really.
That is very similar to the mouse I usually use, but I think the one I have is a little bit newer. This one looks a little older. The one I have is more of a rounded design.
Nice. Feels really nice. The logo is no longer visible, but I believe this is one of Jordan's favorite mouses. This was my brother's, and I saved it all these years. And I have hooked it up via USB, and it's working. Is it flickering? What is that? Must be the camera.
No, it probably got a Versor, because as soon as the operating system goes out of support, it just implodes and you get a Versor. And it breaks everything about the computer. All the hardware, all the software, the mouse, the keyboard, everything is just broken. Okay, this one is from NJPYROGIRL29 Hats Goods Cal Rennie Hartman. And it says, only a few small things left to do. The video is entitled Vintage Christmas Decoration 2025 Update, 99% done. Let's take a look.
Alright, here's the finalized Christmas lights. All I have left to do is to fix this one part of the sleigh that is out and fix the antlers on that one reindeer. And stake down the 2 reindeer and the sled. I have another, like the nutcracker in the tree. I have a little pickup truck that has a tree in the back that I'm going to put lights behind like I did with these 2 and put it on the mailbox. That's the last thing. And since the other update, I hung that joy sign, put the snowman out, and put these red and green C7 bulbs. And this is a tree that I made from Dollar Tree. I got the tree already pre-cut and painted, and I just drilled the holes and glued it in the back, the wires in the back.
It's a nice display. I like the
Christmas lights.
I like the lights going between the deer as if it's the reins, I guess it's called. Okay, this next video is from FanKid2989, and the description says, I didn't have a picture of them all, so... And the video is entitled Junk Fiends.
Alright, here's the start up of this little dinky little thing. Yeah, it barely works. Just gotta clean that up a little bit and oil the bearings and then we're good to go. Two of the fans I'm not even gonna try to test on camera or show you on camera because I don't know how safe it is to use yet. But I'll at least do a show. I'm at least gonna show you the fans. That's the best I'll end up doing probably because these fans do not look very safe to use yet. And 2 of the fans anyway. The other ones, yeah. But let's just see how it works and what don't. Now I know this one works, but barely. Barely, I think.
What a stupid fan. That is a piece of junk.
For a honey, this one actually kind of looks like it sucks. I'll probably work on it too, just in case there actually is something that I need to work on. Here's a Clonus clip fan. I'll set you guys down for a second. So I can set it up for you. Oscillating barely works on it. It's going but the rest of it works fine. I mean, January of 2005, it looks like. Other than the oscillating thing being a, you know what, it seems to work fine. I'm not sure this Holmes purifier thingamajig. I really wish I had brought my tripod in here, but I was just like, you know what, I don't feel like it.
Always bring a tripod.
Dinky little Holmes,
Very
you know
important.
how that is. Holmes sucks.
Yeah, that it does.
But this actually doesn't seem to be that bad. I like it.
Okay. Loud as can be. Good grief.
Seems to work pretty well. Alright, we'll put you guys down and then bring the 2 dirtiest and most dangerous probably, which is why I'm not going to test them, because I don't know how safe it is to do. So they look they don't look very safe to use yet, so I gotta fix that up. Not gonna plug it in because I don't know how safe it is, so don't ask for a test yet. I'll show you a test once I fix it. I'm not really sure what brand this fan is. It's missing a grill. So yeah. I think this fan will turn out very well. Hands are already dirty from picking this thing up.
Just plug it in. It's not gonna happen.
I don't know how safe it is to use yet.
100% safe. Just plug it in. Worst case scenario, the circuit breaker trips.
I can't. This one's probably in the worst cosmetic condition, I want to say, because it's like its neck is broken and stuff
What
like
a
that.
pain in the neck.
Rusty. But we got a trade winds. Some fan. That's all I know. I don't really know what the model number is of this fan. Deluxe.
They were all deluxe. What the heck is the basic one like?
But yeah, made in China. Typical. So anyway, that's me it. Bye.
You could did it again. You can fix the neck with hot glue. Just put a whole bunch of hot glue and that'll fix it. Okay, next we have a video from mr.random and the description says, "This is my vintage banner fans made box fan. It's very, very rare and cool and special. I love the pilot light and thermostat and reversibility. Is a very, very cool fan. Thanks for watching and have a great day." Don't tell me what to do.
Guys, it's Ben here. Today I'm showing my
That's
Armade,
old.
model A431. This is a really cool fan. And I think I'm going to make the thumbnail this because of the control panel. It's super cool. And another thing is the reason why I want to make it that is look, it's made by Banner Fans and not Hunter, which just looks like a Hunter, like our R&M Hunter, but it's actually an R&M Banner, which is even rarer. So this fan actually has an interesting story behind it, and I wanted another Vintage Rocks fan, and then I looked on Facebook Marketplace, and basically we found a Kenmore box fan, but unfortunately the seller sold to someone else behind their back. Then we found a cool Zero box fan, but and they weren't home when my dad went to pick it up. So just a little bit of bad luck. So then we went with eBay and found this, and it was super cool. We got it, and something was wrong with it. It wouldn't start, and I made a video on that. And it turns out there was a lead wire that was for the capacitor that was broken off, and that's why it wouldn't start. So here it is. Has the thermostat, and we'll demonstrate that too. We're gonna switch it to the in position because this is going to be towards us. So, without further ado, here's how. It's powerful. It doesn't go too far, but it's still pretty powerful up close. It's low. And oh yeah, pilot light. That's cool. I'll show you guys that in a second. And then on high, then we put the thermostat. That's the thermostat. You can see the pilot lights on, and it stays on. Also makes that weird click when you turn it the other way. Very powerful and has a startup sound as well. Here's off. And spin down. Not not the longest spin down. I did a wheelless, but it's not the longest spin down. It's about as long as the PL20E. And yeah, big Robert Myers motor, the older one. So this is a PSC motor. Like in the box there is a big, in that like control box is a nice capacitor there that helps it start. We'll reverse it and I'll go ahead and turn it around so you guys can see it go the other direction. Here's the front side. This blade head is massive. That's why I wanted to turn it around. I'm going to do this, but it blows more air this direction. And it takes a second to go up to speed on this, so we'll just set it up on high. There it goes. You can't hear the soda sound, it's really cool. And there it is. I'm gonna talk a little bit louder because this thing moves a ton of air. Be prepared for wind noise. There's a little bit more air on this side. Here's low. That is low. Around the same amount of air, but it's still a little quieter. And there is high. And this is the side you would see if you're on the outside in the window. If it was in the window. There's off. And yep. this thing goes a lot of air. And there's a DE in the background, which I have that video on. And this is for everyone like Jordan Yu, Trash Salsa, and Lamont, and everyone who loves fans like this. This fan is really cool. Alright, when it stops, I'll turn it back around and we'll end the video. I did not have to turn it around because this thing, she's pretty heavy. Yeah, so this is my Armade Model A431. Need the banner fans. Still has the same little thing that Hunter did, the window panels, which I can't figure out how to use. So if you guys know how to use it, please let me know in the comments. Say goodbye, guys. Bye.
That is a neat piece. It's amazing how overbuilt those units were, and the PSC units in particular were so efficient, probably in terms of airflow, many times over more efficient than the ones we have today, like the Lasco 3733. I don't know if you have a kilowatts meter, but I would have been very interested to see what the power draw on this thing is. Alright, next we have one from Canorm 955, and it's called Stupid Purple LED. Let's see if there is a description. Stupid purple LED. Stupid shorts.
One of those stupid LED lights that turn purple. Junk. Here's another one of those stupid LED lights that turn purple.
Yep, there it is. That's what we call a piece of crap street light. Okay, here's another one from Lamont. This is called Lights in the House. And it says, I know you don't like DEL lights, but these are some of the lights filmed in my home. Let's take a look at these DEL lights. Oh, look at all that banding. What a horrible quality of light. That is such a beautiful old house with the mirrors on the walls and the old chandelier. That is just straight out of the 70s. Oh gosh. A flickering freak show. Nice walls too.
Maybe because he's jealous. I mean, his own family was miserable because of that abuse, and he's just gonna keep taking it out. Doesn't understand.
It's got cobwebs in there. We gotta get those cobwebs out. Not good.
No, not good at all.
So the lights right now, I'm filming in the house. Alright, thanks for watching all the lights in the house. I'm on the fan man out. More videos come soon.
Cap cut. Alright, this one is from the channel Keegan W, which I think is a newer channel. And it says, this is a string of very nice C9 incandescent G.E Christmas lights. I will be using these in my display this year, along with some other interesting incandescent mini strings that my grandpa gave to me. I suspect that these were sold in the Home Depot or Lowe's back in the early 90s or early 2000s. Mention the newer style sticker suggests it's from there. Alright, let's take a look.
Strand of GE string along 50 lights, and I bought these around 2024 in November, and they are incandescent, not stupid LED, which flicker way too much. But these are soft white, and they look really good. They have clips on them, so you can put them on the tree or whatever you really like. And the bulbs are actually pretty good size. They aren't minis, so they are a little bit bigger. And I used these last year for my Christmas display, and they looked very nice. And I also got 8 other strands of mini green wired Christmas lights that are incandescent from my grandpa. But yeah, I wanted to show these this year because it's almost Christmas time. I mean, October is coming to an end, so these are, I guess, they're vintage. There's this sticker right here, but it doesn't, I forgot how to really read the stickers on them. So, but I mean, I watched Jordan Yu's video, and it suggested that this kind of reflective sticker is from the early 2000s. These are very nice though, so let me plug those in.
they don't pick up relatively good on the camera for the color. They're more of a warm white, but they do light very nicely. I used them around this area last year. I just wrapped them around where the TV is, and I used them probably 3 weeks in a row at night for a long period of time, so these bulbs do last a while. It's just a matter of how you keep them up. But let me turn the light off so you can see how nice they look. They're very vintage, soft and warm glow. They aren't too bright. They don't flicker like LED. And they look very nice. They're very good quality lights. Wish they still made them like this, but fortunately in California they banned these, so yeah, that'll wrap it for these lights.
So those are probably a 2000s era product. I would say based off the thickness of the wire alone. If these were a 90s set, I think 97 and older, the wire would be a lot thinner. So that's probably one of the newer, maybe even one of the last sets made, I don't know. Those stickers do look very recent to me. Alright, we've got 2 left that I picked out. This one is from Steve. And which one is this one? This is from the Fan Vaults. These are both kind of long. Alright, we'll try to watch these 2 more.
Good afternoon, everybody. Fan-Man Steve here. Once again, it is October the 12th. I am just now getting around to catching up on my material. And as I explained in the community post that I have been extremely busy here lately. I've had a lot going on. In fact, I've been doing some work here in my room, and I'm still finishing up. And I rearranged the studio once again. So as of today, I'm using my media center because I need to get the lighting in the studio set up. But anyway, this is a Lasko box fan that I bought just yesterday. I thought that it was a weather shield, and somebody on the fan groups had told me that this is a Lasko Premium 3727, I think. I don't know. I would have to go back and look it up. It'll be in the title anyway. But anyway, I was out and about yesterday, and we walked into our local thrift store, and I saw this one and another first thing when I walked in through the door. It was right in front of the store when you walked in. And I looked and I thought, oh, these are just a few other Lasko box fans. And then I walked over and I looked, and it had the Marco motor, and I was just intrigued by it. I'm usually on the hunt for box fans such as, mid-century up to the 90s. This one was way too good to pass up. Both were marked for $2.
Wow. I
tested it in the store before I bought it. It does work. However, it is gonna require a little TLC. this dates back to 1999 or 2000. I was also informed that these were from the late 90s. These were probably being sourced from maybe around 98 to 2000, because I looked on the bottom for what I could find, and it said 99 to 2000. So in other words, this was probably made in late 99 and it was sold in 2000. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how that dating works, and I always find it very annoying because it's a span of 2 years, which is quite a long time. And is it something like that? Is it something where it was made 1 year and then sold the next? I kind of feel like the turnover time would be faster at this point, because they're still labeled like that to this day, as far as I know. I don't know. Maybe Tori can provide some insight.
I am quite fond of these Lasco box fans, because I remember seeing these just about everywhere growing up. In fact, my family had several of these back when I was a kid, and they're really great fans. These definitely are superior to the modern stuff that we have now, comparing to the ones with the tuna fish PSC crap motors with capacitors and such. This does resemble the Ultra Force, but it's actually a premium. I remember seeing the 3733s and the Ultra Force and the Weather Shield box fans. If I ever saw these, they were I just remember seeing them in stores and convenience stores and places like Walmart, stuff like that. It is a little dirty. And this thing, I know this thing has had some high usage and hours on it, because the fan, like I said, the fan does run, but blades come to a stop almost instantly, and you're gonna see it for yourself here in just a few minutes.
The blades look very yellowed, which is kind of unusual.
There is the carrying handle. Still has the original knob. Same thing as the Weather Shield. Has the holes on the side there for mounting on the stand, and that's how I knew right then and there that this was definitely an older Lasco box fan. Here's the back.
That is so nostalgic.
Has the Lasco insignia there on the back, which I think is pretty cool. Nothing is busted. No broken slats. Original screws are still accounted for. Power cord seems to be fine as well. So this does not have the fused plug that Lasco started using on their fans sometime, I'm guessing, in the 2010s.
A little earlier than that, probably.
I was recently watching.
I want to say 05 or 06 maybe for the fuse plugs. It was early to, no, it was mid to late 2000s for the fuse plugs. And then everybody else started using them in the 2010s.
Videos of this. Jordan has one. Tori has one, as well as a few others on YouTube. I have never serviced a Lasco box fan before, particularly the older ones. And something very interesting that I have seen about these fans as well as, something very odd that when the insulation starts to deteriorate on the windings, the speeds start to lose their variation, particularly the medium speed. And I'm not exactly sure why that is. I mean, that's a mystery to me. I was watching Jordan's video of one that he was fixing up some time ago. He revarnished the stator and he put the thing back together, and I don't know if it was the same or not. And he was testing it. The medium speed ran just fine, and so I thought that was a really, really interesting.
So that was a fluke. So I had a couple of people tell me, "Oh, if you revarnish the motor, it'll fix it." So I did that. That particular instance he's talking about fixed it. I've done a couple since and it didn't fix it. Tori has told me that it's exclusively a lubrication issue, and most of the time when you clean the bearings out and oil them back up, it gets better. Sometimes it goes back to normal. Sometimes it never goes back to normal. I don't know what the heck it is. I don't know what would cause it to stop working properly, and I have not figured out exactly what fixes it. I don't get it. It's a mystery to me as well. It makes no sense. And it's always the medium and only the medium. The high never seems to have a problem. The low never seems to have a problem. So why medium?
Concept. I don't know what shape the motor is in. I have not.
Probably round.
I have not done anything to it. I brought it in last night as I was cleaning my room. There were two of these. I wanted to get both kind of short on space, so this may very well be the last fan that I'll be kitting for quite a long time. So yeah, this will be the last fan acquisition of 2025.
You should have got both. Those things are hard to come by.
There's a closer look there. You can see inside of it. Well, you can see that. This thing's going to be getting another video, so of course you're going to be seeing more of it. Go ahead and I'll plug this thing and I'll start it up. I'll run this briefly because I don't want to take any chances by wrecking the bearings.
Oh wow, that is stiff.
Well, I didn't know that the fan was turned off, so but anyway, there's the low speed. Well, technically that was the medium speed, and you see how quickly that came to a stop. Let me start again. Alright, let's start it up on the low speed first.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That might be the stiffest I've ever seen one of those. It still works.
Medium.
Typical busted medium. Very typical.
Now the high. So yeah, you saw how quickly that came to a stop. This thing is definitely going to need some oil. Let's start it up again, this time from the high speed. Go ahead and I'll get a startup sound for you.
That is so nostalgic to me. That is the sound of summer. That's awesome.
All right. Really neat fan, really cool find. Very good deal for the price that I gave for this.
Yeah, I'd say so.
This is a good score too, because I have been looking to get an older Lasco Boxman with the Marco Boxman for quite a while. This has been on my want list because, like I said, I have fond memories of these fans, and these are, if I'd known any better, these are sort of getting harder to find by now.
They are.
And if these are sold on places like eBay or Marketplace, just like everything else, I'm pretty sure that people are asking a stupid amount of money for them. So, there shall be a part 2 on this cleanup and service within the next day or so. Until then, I hope that you all have enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching. Have a good one.
Don't tell me what to do. Those are great fans, super powerful, and they are definitely getting harder to find. You can get them on Steal Your Data Book Marketplace for a couple bucks sometimes, on a rare occasion in other parts of the country, I guess. More common, but around here, very, very rare to find them at a thrift store. But they do show up. I found one at a thrift store in New Jersey last year, which is kind of cool. Just a couple dollars for it. But yeah, these are definitely one of those models. Every time you see it, get it. Because they're great fans and they're not getting any easier to find. Alright, last one for today is by the Fan Vault. And it says, this is almost so small I can't read it. My curiosity got the best of me, and I bought one of these fans after seeing Jordan and Lamont's videos of them. This is an extremely satisfactory modern fan. It is well made, very quiet, powerful, and was only $18. I also like the blade design that's similar to the old SMC TH12 desk fans. Enjoy. Well, that's what this is. This is a descendant of those old SMC units.
The Pilatus 9-inch or 12-inch, as they say. This is a 9-inch blade. Oscillate.
That is stupid. I don't know why they're playing games with the size of this one.
Living table fan. This is the new one that they.
You know what it probably is? They're calling it a 12-inch, but they're using a 9-inch blade to save costs or something. I don't know. Stupid.
they came out with, most recent model. I got this fan because I'm recklessly impulsive. And, oops. And so I watched the Jordan U video of the one he just got, because apparently it's pretty decent. So I bought my own, because why not? There you go. There's some light. But yeah, I bought my own, because I'm dangerously impulsive. But yeah, I've been curious about it. One, because the blade is the exact same as the old SMC TH12 desk fans. So yeah, here's the box. 3-speed settings for personal comfort, whatever. Perfect for small rooms, tilt adjustable, fan head, oscillation. 26 years, which is kind of a weird point out. 1-year warranty. And yeah, pioneers in home comfort.
You know, I felt that was kind of weird too, because I feel like most boxes would just say over 25 years or something like that, but 26 is oddly specific.
Here's all this junk. 3 speeds, it's all the same stuff with pictures. This is the model, oh man, model PFT30T3ABB. Oh, there's a shipping label on the other side. Let me see if I can get that off. Of course I can't. I got this off the Amazon Prime Day deal. I think it was like $18.
That's pretty good.
Isn't much of a deal, but I rip off some of it and tape it over my home information. There you go. Other side, it's all the same information. Yep, all the same on all sides. Here's the top. It's got that sticker. 12-inch oscillating. So let's get into the box, shall we? This literally just showed up in my house. I'm definitely gonna keep the box. Pretty cool. Alright, let's see what they got. First thing on top is the base. I'm just gonna put everything to the side. All in one group. Here's the guards and the blade, but the blade kind of fell out. Oh, it's packaging's ripped. Interesting. There's some cardboard. Here's the instruction manual. Pull on his table fan. 30 watts. This is what it looks like. It's the user manual. I'm not going to read through that. I'll put that aside. And last but not least, we got the motor. Alright, so I'll put the box down now.
It's a box.
I believe it was one screw assembly required, maybe? Oh no, it's not. It's got this. That's a cool mechanism. Twisty lock deal on the base. But yeah, let's put it together now. So, here's the main motor assembly. This egg carton looking packaging. Comes right off. Mix and match of gloss. This one's got some scuffs on the motor housing already. But yeah, there's a weird mix and match of glossed and matte materials. Most of it's glossy looking. See all that, but then the back of the base is matte. I think the back. The back of the pole or stand or whatever. The base is matte. Here's the base. You got this weird sloped UFO looking design to it. So this front piece goes in here first.
Yeah. This has got to be turned that way. Tighten that. That's good. Let's see how the motor sounds like. Sounds a little bit dry, but it's got some decent spin down time to it. Maybe it just needs to be broken in because it's brand new. Probably does. Take all the fasteners off here. Blade. Here's the rear guard, which is metal. The whole thing should have been made out of metal, but who am I to say? Which way does this go on? It's kind of confusing. I think it goes on like that.
There's no handle on that fan, which is kind of dumb. There should have been a handle.
Kind of weird. Apparently this has the same motor that the 12-inch ones do, so it's supposed to be a little bit more powerful. This is by no means a 12-inch fan. This is a 9-inch fan with a 12-inch guard. Here's the front guard with that cool design. I really do like it. The logo is not really centered, it's kind of up. Oh yeah, it is one screw. I just got this weird clip at the bottom. Now we got the blade in its ripped plastic bag. It's got a really good pitch to it. It's probably a contender with the little Galaxy back there. Lining up with the notches and everything. That's pretty powerful. Already making noises in the bearings. Okay, so now we got this weird guard feel. Take off one screw. And then this unclips. Yeah, put the guard on. There's a couple. This is weird.
I don't like that, the way that attaches at all.
Okay, I think I got it. Doesn't tilt back too far. Huh. There we go. Finally got it. Alright. There's the Polaris. The 12-inch oscillating disc fan all put together. So let's put it on a look. That's just as good as I imagined. That carries real far. I'm gonna tilt it down so I can get it all the way across the room. Wow. That's really powerful all the way over here. I'm like 10 feet back and I can feel that. Very good fan. I'm trying not to be biased, but this is actually pretty nice. Did get a little bit of dust on the motor, I'm saying. See. Wow. Oscillator's noisy.
It is noisy. Sounds like there's no grease in there at all.
I wish the guard was metal, but this one actually seems pretty aerodynamic and correct. Obviously, it's the Medea product. Don't have my airflow tester with me. Use a plastic bag. It's moving a lot of air. Filled that whole bag easily. Let's go to medium. That's not really a big difference. It's like barely a difference. That was another thing I noticed in the Jordan U video. The speed variation is really weird.
Lack of variance in speed is a common with most fans today.
I do really like the look of this. It's a pretty good looking little desk fan. Yeah, it's pretty smooth oscillation. Nice and slow. I like the relaxed oscillations more. Just high. There is a decent jump in high, that's good. That's pretty powerful. That's really good for a little 9-inch fan. Yeah, that's really nice. All the way across the room. It was very powerful. Take this up to the guard. Let's see what we got. Clock on the blade is pretty good. It's actually in really good balance. That's nice. There's some of the noises coming from it. Let's turn it around. There is no handle. It's kind of weird.
That is stupid. There should be a handle.
No screws. I think it's one of those clip-on guards. That's interesting. No screw on the back of the guard. Look at that grommet coming out the base. Wow. It's a very beefed up fan. The neck is very sturdy looking. Good product. The only thing that I'm complaining about right now is the bearings. They're not horrible. They just need to break in a little bit. Which I guess really isn't the fan's fault. It's brand new. See the oscillation. Too much crap getting all over the base. I'm pleasantly surprised at how good this is. Alright, let's shut it up. For how lightweight that blade is, that's a pretty good spin down.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Definitely could be better, but I will say that's a pretty satisfactory fan. So, yeah. It's going to conclude the first looks of this Polaris 12-inch oscillating desk fan in the black. Really is a 9-inch, but whatever. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Actually, one more thing. It's just a front shot of it. I like that the blade is glossy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one. Hope you all enjoyed.
That is a pretty good fan. I have to say, the Polaris brand, which is a Medea product, came out with a handful of decent units last year in 2025. At least I became aware of. Alright, so I think we've gotten through all the ones I had picked out. I'm starting to get tired from just sitting here. I gotta move around. But that's good. We got through a bunch of these. I know I have plenty more to do. And I'll try to do this more regularly. But that's it for this one. I will re-mention everybody in the description box whose video I showed. That was way too long of a session. I almost fell asleep towards the end. I can't just sit still in a place like that for very long at all. The next time I'll probably break it up into two sections. Okay, let's see here. Which? Oh, actually, we don't need either of these microphones anymore. Okay, this is the one that we no longer need either. I always try not to get these mixed up because they all four of them look identical. Okay, so that worked pretty good having the cameras plugged in. There was no battery issues, and so now I should just have, well, the older camera is going to have a lot of interruptions. It's going to be 11.7 minutes files, but the newer camera I think should only have 2 or 3 splits in the file. So disconnect this, disconnect that, disconnect that, disconnect. Actually, we'll leave that plugged in. And turn this off. And now I just want to write down all the channels that I got these videos from before I forget. That is important notation to have in my description. How should we do this here? Okay, so now they're all in one place. So I'm going to open the notepad. And we have Steve the Fan Man. Something weird was just happening there. Oh man, I hope I didn't shut something I needed. I think I just closed some things that I needed. Not good. Stupid, dumb, stupid shorts trash interface. Won't even show me what the producer channel is. How the heck do you tell? I hate this interface. The interface blows. It's complete and total trash, stupid garbage interface. Hate shorts. Stupid trash interface. I think I unintentionally closed some of these things that I needed, which is not good. Can I just copy this? No. Maybe this is the... Is this the username? I think this is totally screwed up here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 videos. No, I guess I got them all. All right. I don't want to show the usernames of random people on here. I'm sure plenty of people would not appreciate that. I'm just putting this list into a Discord channel of notes so I can reference it on the other computer. Okay, I'm gonna shut this computer off because we're done with this computer now. And no, at no point during the video did it get a virus from being so-called out of support or whatever the heck you want to call it. And to put on the lights here, I can't see anything anymore. Oh man, I made a mess on the table. Oh, it's crumbs everywhere. Make sure I put this back, otherwise I'm gonna go to use this later and why doesn't the computer work? of these stays out because I use that to charge different things. And one of these will go away. Till next time we need it. Which actually might be tonight if I change the ceiling fan in the kitchen. Okay, I gotta take a break to set up some videos for tonight and get something to eat, and then I gotta charge up this camera because now it's on low battery, but I will show how I edit this together. Oh gosh. Okay, so this is what we end up with after I import the videos. So we have, oh, that sounds terrible. So this is the event from the old camera, and you can see it produces these 11.7 minute sections which make up the whole thing. So what I have to do is I have to go here and then push new video, and then I have to take all this and combine it like this. Now sometimes when I do this it puts it in order, and sometimes it just puts it into a random mess. So I do have to sift through here and make sure that each of these transitions are correct.
Which of course.
Okay, so that looks to be
Oh yeah, this is off to a great start.
okay, that looks like that's the beginning. Let's go to our first break.
Honestly, higher than the actual performance is.
Okay, that looks good.
Anyway, the light.
That's good there.
Always reindeer are flickering like crazy up here.
Okay, here we go.
Today I'm showing my arm aid.
I realize there's a gap in the audio here, but normally once this renders it won't have that gap.
But it
looks like it did it correctly this time. Everything seems to be correct.
I about fixed it.
I got first.
In the description box for this video I showed.
Okay, so now I can say that I don't care about the audio on this because we're not going to use the audio. It can stay as it is. So this is watching videos 13, angle 1. Okay, and then we have to come in here and push this again. This is what the other camera puts out. It puts out like an hour and 10 or so. This movie is an hour and 1.3 hours, so it's like an hour and 15 minutes or so, and then it broke it into 2 files, but I still have to combine this into one video as well. And then we have to make an alignment noise, which of course. So let's just make sure that the audio
Videos.
of the computer entirely.
So don't ask for a test yet. I'll show you a test with.
The audio seems pretty good. Here's the break.
Really, they look really good. They have clips on them, so you can put them up.
Mark you on this cleanup and service.
I will re-mention everybody in the description box whose video I showed. Okay, so we're going to save this, and we're going to call this Watching Videos 13 Angle 2. And now I have to save these two files. We'll put it in 1080p. I think that's as high as it was recorded in, yep. So push that, and then we'll push save to desktop, and then we'll do the same thing with this one, and we'll push, okay, we'll push it to save it to the desktop. And this is going to take some time to save these two files. It's saying 67 hours, but that's baloney. It'll go down pretty quick. So once these two files save, then we can go back and edit it together with the picture-in-picture and synchronize the audio and video and so forth. But it's just easier to do it this way, because otherwise you're trying to align up 11.7 minute sections over and over again. It's just not great. Now I'm hoping that these two cameras will record at exactly the same. I'm not sure what the description of the timing is, because what happened when I used to do this, stupid gnat, when I would film this with one GoPro and one Sony camera, or whatever the combination be, by the time the video, let's say the video was an hour, by the time we got to the end of the video, there would be a second or two mismatch in timing between the two videos, even though they start at the exact same point. So something about the way the cameras record was not exactly identical. So I'm hoping that if we use two GoPro cameras, maybe it'll line up perfectly. I do have two of the Sony cameras, and that of course I would expect to line up exactly, but I don't have a way to feed the audio from the microphones into those videos. So then you'd be relying on the onboard microphone, and the audio would be a disaster, because one of the cameras is going to be closer either to the television set or closer to me, and so the levels would not be correct. So it really works out good to have the microphones, because I can have one near me and I can have one near the television set, and the level I can kind of like manually mix it as we go and make sure that the TV volume is matching the pickup of the microphone I'm using. So when this imports, there's no audio problems to deal with. It's purely a video editing aspect. So this is going to take some time to save, probably the rest of the night. So this might not be finished until tomorrow. I'm trying to avoid having to edit this video that you're watching right now, because this video is now almost 3 hours and it's just going to take a very long time. But I do need to film some other things tonight, and I think that this is going to take a couple hours. So I might have to just stop this video so I can record some other things, and I'll just have to edit it back together. And finish saving the videos. So we have this clip now. That looks fine. And then we have this clip, which also looks fine. The lighting gets kind of dodgy towards the end, but that's fine. So now we're going to combine the two videos to one. So we have to push into new movie again. I'm just going to make a new event and then push this, and we'll get the crash out wheel for a minute. And then we'll go to the desktop, and here it is. Import these videos. So now we have 2 long videos. So we're going to put this one here, and then we're going to put this one, and we have to push this to be what's called a picture-in-picture. So I want this to be the small one. That'll go over here, and then this other one is the full screen. So we'll realign that later. I'm not sure where we're going to put that yet. But what we need now, which we don't have yet, is the audio lines. All right, they're coming in now. So this is where it gets a little tricky, because we have to line up. I don't know why this is getting so blurry like that. I guess the floor in this room is not very good. We have to line up these 2 videos together, and I think
Harbor, traditional.
have to make an alignment.
Oh yeah, this is off to a great start.
I guess we should take that as a bloop in and of itself.
Alright, this should be fine, I think. And we have to make an alignment noise.
Okay, so we just said that there, so move this.
To make an alignment.
And then we have to make a noise, which of course we will select a sheet for. Okay, so if we zoom this in, we have to align these 2 sheep, which is going to be pretty much like that. So now the videos are synchronized in terms of the time. So now the question becomes, if we go to the end of the videos, are they still going to be synchronized?
Is you don't have to pay for shipping, so
We're about a half an hour, and let's wait for these lines to come up, and let's see if the audio is still synchronized or not. It looks pretty close so far. Whoops. I'm going to zoom it in a little more. Nah, see, it is actually out of sync by a very, very small amount, but it's like, I would say it's maybe maybe a quarter second out of sync at this point. So what we then have to do to correct this, so it looks like the newer camera's video it records, I don't know what property of the video describes the recording length. I don't know. I don't know what property. I don't know what property describes that, but it's becoming to the point where the newer camera's video is just a touch shorter than the older camera's video. So at some point I'm going to have to cut this and move the video back in order to realign it in terms of the audio before it gets too far out of whack. So I'm going to cut this here, and I'm going to cut a very small section out of this, and I'm going to put this back like that, and now it's pretty much back into alignment. That only took out 0.2 seconds, so this is definitely closer than the other camera versus the GoPro was, but it is still a bit of a drag. So now we're going to move forward. Let's go about halfway out to about an hour. And we're going to see, we see this discrepancy again. See, if you look here, this sound starts here, but then on the other take, the sound doesn't start until here. So now we have another issue where it's become a little bit out of sync. So I guess, I'm just cutting this at random now. Wait a minute. Let me think about this for a second. So the audio track is going to reside within the newer camera. So if the older camera is the one that gets out of sync, and I move the audio back to try to align it, the audio is now going to be out of sync to the picture on the older camera, which is the one that's showing these videos, which is the more important of the two angles. So what I just did doesn't work. It doesn't fix the problem. Okay, let's just start over, because what I did doesn't solve the problem. And this is where this becomes an editing nightmare, because I can't get this to be exactly the way it should be. So now I got to figure out, I got to find where that ba was and try to realign this again. Okay, so we know it's right about there. I'll zoom it in. So this is the problem. So if I go all the way to the end of the video, shut up. If I go to the end of the video here, let's see how badly out of sync this is. It's a difference of this to this. It's from here, whoa. It's from here to here. So it's like here to here. That's about half a second. So through the course of the entire 2-hour production, it only became about half a second off towards the end. That's annoying, but I'm not sure that that's detrimental to the video. I'm trying to think of how do I fix this. If I recorded the TV with the newer camera instead, then at least the audio would remain in sync with the video the entire time, and the worst case scenario is my reaction is half of a second or whatever, it becomes delayed. There's really not a good way to fix this other than to buy a second camera that's identical to one of these cameras. Which is not a bad idea to have a backup of one of these cameras anyways, but that's money I don't want to spend right now. This is quite the predicament. So let's put this to be this way so I can see what it's going to look like. I don't know why I had this. I should not have had this camera in wide. I put this one in linear, and that's how they both should have been in linear. And this angle is so wide it looks like I'm sitting 15 feet away from the camera, and that's not the way it was, but that's fine. And this was really too far away from the television set. This should have been closer to the TV. So the video angles here are not very good. This camera should have been over here more. I usually move the table over a little bit and put it off to the side. I didn't do that, and this is too far back. So both of these angles are not great. Let's see what it sounds like. Nothing, because the sound is off.
Just get a little bit of angles.
Yeah, you hear how one of the tracks is off. So, oh man.
For these views.
Really difficult, and most of the time, it's very hard to get a good picture. All right, this one is from Walter Knox, and it says, "I don't get how people can use this." There's a stupid echo, that's what the problem is. I just don't get how people find these satisfactory. Let's take a look. They're very close, but not quite good enough.
Those ones kind of look incandescent. So those are probably incandescent. I don't see any visible flicker. I don't really know what the model number is of this thing.
See what they got. First thing on top is the base. Let's go put everything.
The video is, the audio is very out of sync towards the end. Now, I'm going to turn off the audio from the secondary camera because the audio is captured on the newer camera of both areas. So you're not going to necessarily hear the echo, but it's going to be out of synchronous from what's actually on the screen, which is not acceptable. At least I don't think that's acceptable. But I really can't fix it.
Yeah, I know this one works, but barely.
It's good enough, but it's not.
Barely.
It's not great.
What a stupid.
Oh, that's cool. We got the ceiling fan in the shop back here. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That is a piece of junk. You know what I should have done is I should have put this. The reaction camera over here and gotten the ceiling fan in the living room in the shot too.
Oh, it looks like a such. Probably work on that too, just in case you actually use something that you work on. Here's a bonus clip fan. I'll set you guys down for a second. So I can set it up for you.
Goodbye, guys. Bye.
That is a neat piece. It's amazing how overbuilt those units were, and the PSC units in particular were so efficient, probably in terms of airflow, many times over more efficient than the ones we have today, like the Lasco 3733. I don't know if you have a kilowatts meter, but I would have been very interested to see what the power draw on this thing is. Alright, next we have one from Knorm 955. It's called Stupid Purple LED. Let's see if there is a description. Stupid purple LED. Stupid shorts.
One of those stupid LED lights that turn purple. Oh, junk. Here's another one of those stupid LED lights that turn purple.
Yep, there it is. That's what
We walked into our local first store.
So, you know, in all due reality, is it that bad? No, it's not super obvious, especially because of the way these videos were. It wasn't a lot of like visible motion in relation to the sounds. And like the startup sound on this fan is going to be a little bit off. we can't really see when exactly he turns the knob to turn it on anyways, so it's just probably not very noticeable. It's annoying to me in concept because I know it's wrong. Will viewers notice? Probably not. These camera angles are horrible. The reaction camera's angle is horrible. The angle of this is way too far away from the television set. Yeah, this did not come out very good. Well, sometimes that happens. I think it will still get the point across. I mean, you can certainly still see what video is on there, but this, the television set really should have covered like the majority of the screen here. Let me pull up an example of one that I have filmed in the past. For heaven's sakes. Here we go.
Looks like.
So this is what I try to go for. You see the video of the the video that we're watching is taking up the majority of the screen, and I didn't even remotely achieve that here. Why is it like that? What the heck? Ugh, I did a horrible job setting this up. I'm gonna have to see if we can fix this. Maybe I can crop it a little bit to zoom it in or something. I don't know, this is bad. That's a little better, but it's still not great. Let's see if I can crop it down some more. I didn't have the tree on, so I guess it doesn't matter if that's in the frame or not. That's a little better. I can make that a little smaller. You can barely even see me because the stupid thing was on wide angle, so it looks like I'm 50 feet away from the camera. I don't know what happened. I really dropped the ball on this one. Well, this is better, at least. The watching frame is a little bit bigger now. I think I've pretty much cropped it as much as I can. Go in a little bit more. I don't want to crop the fan out of the picture because that's important. You know, I suppose we could crop this one too, maybe. Of course, now this is all just going to start getting blurry, but if we crop this a little bit, I'm going to make sure that ceiling fan stays in the frame. That's a little bit better. I kind of like having the garland in there, but I guess it doesn't matter because it's not on. Well, that's not horrible, but it's not great either. So now this is getting to be a little bit too dark, and it might just have to be that way unless we can maybe increase the shadows a little bit, but then it might be screwed up earlier on. Yeah, now it looks foggy, so I think that we're just going to leave that alone, and it'll just have to get dark as it naturally was. Alright, let's go back to the beginning here and clip off the nonsense before we get started. So I'll use that noise in the editor to set up the alignment of the two clips. So I'm sure I'll be in the frame rate. The video now. Oh, I have to look up to 13. Okay, so we'll cut it there. And we're going to cancel this part of the video because it's not helpful.
It's number 13.
Oh, that was wrong. I cut it too not soon enough.
Watching video.
Okay, cancel it again.
Watching videos I was mentioned in number 13. We're going to begin with a video entitled 2025 Boston Harbor.
Now see, this is all blurry now because I cropped it.
C1
Oh well.
42-inch.
Yeah, I mean, with it.
As we said many times, the most important part about the video is the audio, and the audio is generally correct, minus the delay, which I don't even think you're really going to be able to notice it too much.
Interesting. This would be a lot cheaper than buying a Casablanca Lady Delta.
Patents floating around still, and they're still being used to manufacture. It's very hard to get a good picture. All right, this one is from Walter Knox. I will say these very much look like incandescent if it wasn't for the flickering.
Those could be incandescents.
Stuff that we have now, comparing to the ones with the tuna fish, PSC.
The lighting just changed. Oh, I think I opened the curtains.
Modern stuff that we have
Yeah,
now,
that's what happened.
comparing to the ones with the tuna fish. No, same thing as the water shield. Has the holes on the side there for mounting on the stand. That's how I knew right in the mirror that this was definitely an older Lasco box fan. Here's the back.
That is so nostalgic.
Has the Lasco insignia there on the back, which I think is pretty cool. Nothing is.
Yeah, you can tell the audio is not 100% in sync, but I don't think it's very obvious.
Busted.
But they do show up. I found one at a thrift store in New Jersey.
Yes, okay. See an oscillation. Thanks for watching, and see you again in the next one. Hope you all enjoy.
Everybody in the description box whose video I showed. Okay. Whose video I showed. Alright, so that's how it's going to stay. Okay, now we got to push this to save it, and push next, and push save. And that's going to take a long time. But so that's it. That's what goes into making a watching videos video. I'm going to have to figure out what to do with this camera situation. I might just need to get a second identical camera